Hello there. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. I'm Scotty. You're not. One of the light bulbs went out. So I'll try to do my best. So, yes, it's Saturday. It's the weekend. So we are talking about sequels. And our first sequel to talk about is The Return of Jafar, which of course was the big sequel. First big sequel. Well, Rescuers Down Under. But this was the first big direct-to-DVD sequel. It started at, the direct-to-DVD sequel run that had this, Aladdin King of Thieves, Lion King 2, Lion King 1.5. There was an extremely goofy movie, Bambi 2, Tarzan 2, which were both technically prequels or in-betweenquels, Tarzan and Jane, Atlantis, Milo's Return, Mulan 2, Cinderella 2, Cinderella 3, Belle's Magical World, Little Mermaid 2, Little Mermaid Ariel's Beginning, Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas, all those direct-to-video, Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, yes, all those direct-to-video, and the aforementioned Lilo and Stitch ones. All those direct-to-video sequels that all started with The Return of Jafar. Now, I did my research on this. I found out that supposedly this is... I don't know. I couldn't... Usually you can tell that it was 5 episodes of a proposed TV series. I think maybe it was scripted as 5 episodes and they took the script and rewrote it into a movie, because usually with those kinds of, when they do that, you can tell, like with Atlantis, Milo's Return, Cinderella 2, Tarzan and Jane, Belle's Magical World. There are episodes of a TV series that were put into a movie, and it just sort of, you could tell. This is one conclusive story. I don't know how you could have it. I mean, I know that technically DuckTales pilot is 5 parts. I don't remember if it's all one story though. This is all one continuing story, and it's like 90 minutes, maybe even less. To be 5 episodes for that. But as you can tell by the title, is The Return of Jafar. I don't remember which VHS it was. Doug Walker says that he had it in the Fox and Hound VHS. Could be we had Fox and the Hound. It could be any of the VHS. I just remember getting that little thing that said the villain was returning, like he said. And yeah, and Aladdin was, and is, and will always be my favorite animated Disney film. So I was excited for this. I've heard bad things. People keep negative with this one, and there is some issues. There's some things about this, but I don't hate it. I found myself singing along to some of the songs. There's nothing in the world quite like a friend. From here on in, I'm looking out for me. Yes, some songs. But, yeah, it's, while it is in the Aladdin universe, it is Iago's movie. He's pretty much the main character. The guy in charge wanted to focus on Iago, which I think it works, even though, rest in peace, but, I can't think of his name. Gilbert Gottfried. It wasn't that bad, I just remembered. Gilbert Gottfried's voice does not lend to the songs very well, but I think he does a pretty good job with this role. It's essentially Iago's redemption arc, is what it is. After the events of the previous film, Jafar and Iago basically claw their way out from the sand, even though they're supposed to be in the Cave of Wonders. It only took, apparently this was only 1 year after the events. It took a year for them to dig out. And Genie was, even though he said 10,000 years in the Cave of Wonders, it took 1 year for them to climb out. Sure. there is a not pre cold open of sorts where we're introduced to a new villain who will be in the TV show. This was a pilot for the TV show. Abi Small, voiced by Jason Alexander, and yes, abysmal. That's the joke. Haha, abysmal. Abi Small, abysmal. That's the joke. But yeah, he would be a recurring villain in the TV show. But here he has robbed some stuff, some jewels and stuff. So Aladdin, Abu, and the magic carpet swoop in and steal the jewels and give it to the poor peoples. This one little flower thingy that he saves for Jasmine. Abismal, he wants revenge. His people are going to turn on him, but then he finds a lamp. Jafar's lamp. Now Jafar, being an all-powerful villain... Oh, I should mention, I skipped a very important part. After Iago crawls his way to the surface, he basically kicks Jafar to the curb, saying, I've had enough of you. He throws him down a well. That's where Abismal finds him, and he uses it to scare off his men, who we never see again. And he gets 3 wishes and wastes 2 of them right away, which means there's only 1 wish left. Yeah. Because his first wish is to find a sunken treasure, so Jafar puts him underwater and says, oh, so you wish for me to get you out. So that's 2. But I thought about this. I'm like, that's literally the same thing they did to Aladdin, wherein his second wish, he didn't technically wish for anything. Genie had to force the wish, and basically that's what Jafar does here. Jafar has all these powers, but is, bound to the lamp. But my problem is, so according to this, he needs Abismal to bring him there. He can't just scoop up the lamp and fly over there. He has to have someone bring it with him. That's what's confusing me, is that, Genie has held the lamp before, right? It was after the wish where, but I don't know. I don't know. Aladdin is going to have a very special dinner. But, yeah, he is. Was it something happened? Did he crawl out before the fight, or no? I think maybe Abismal and his men find him first. Before. I don't know. But Iago saves Aladdin's life, so he agrees to take me to the palace and try to talk to the Sultan about everything. But Jasmine has news. And it seems that things seem to be a bit weird. The animation's a little off. It, of course, doesn't have the budget of the original. It's a TV animation budget. And it shows. There's some janky animation. There's one part where Aladdin is like moving and he's like, the voice work for Linda Larkin at first as Jasmine. At first I was like, that's not her. She sounds off. But then later, I don't know. Maybe she was just having an off day in the recording studio when she did the first few scenes here, because the rest of the movie she's fine. But here she seems a little high pitchy. And then you got most of the cast back. John Freeman as Jafar, Godfrey as Iago, Frank Welker's back as the animal voices, Scott Winger as Aladdin, Linda Larkin as Jasmine. The only 2 that didn't come back, Douglas Seal as the Sultan, he didn't come back. And of course, Robin Williams does not voice the Genie here. We'll talk about Genie. He comes back from his 1-year vacation all over the world. His song doesn't make sense though. He sings about nothing in the world without there's nothing in the world quite like a friend. I did do that. But the way he talks about where he went, he's like, with you, the Sahara's not so hot. And I'm like, Agrabah is in the Sahara, right? He also says that he went to Rome and ran with Hercules, which we do know, us Disney afternoon buffs know that Aladdin and Hercules actually take place at the same time, which leads people to believe that Aladdin is a post-apocalyptic thing, but like they take place at the same time. Or was it a time travel thing? I don't know. But like he says he ran with Hercules, which implies that it's the same. It's not the same Hercules from the movie. This was 95, right? I think. So it was before Disney's Hercules, but it's a nice nod. Aladdin Genie is voiced by Dan Castellaneta, who you may know as Homer Simpson. And yeah, a lot of the time it just sounds like Homer Simpson. Yeah, he's trying his best. He does, and he went on to the TV series, and that's fine. For years, I wondered why Robin Williams didn't come back. Apparently, there was a deal that was made that Disney broke, where he said that they couldn't use any of his voice work or anything outside of the movie, and they used it for commercials and stuff. And so he's like, no. And he refused to come back. So Dan Castellaneta takes his place, although Williams would return for the third film, but which is really weird. It makes a weird thing, especially since the third film is a conclusion to the TV series, and now we go back to the original voice of Genie, and it's a little, if you were to, does they count this as the final episode of the show? So if you're watching the show, let's say you watch the first Aladdin and you're like, oh, Robin Williams, yay. And then you get to the second one and you're like, oh, it's not him. And the TV show, okay. Then you get used to it for the 4 seasons of the show, and then you get to this and you're like, oh, Robin Williams is back. That's a little jarring. But I don't even know if you can stream the cartoon on Disney Plus or not. But I remember watching it all the time on UPN in the afternoon. Disney Afternoon, that's where UPN, that's the channel that was on here at least. I don't know about there, but yeah. So Iago's plan is to get in the good graces of them. But his plan, he just wants to be in a position of power again. His plan is thwarted when Jafar shows up and talks Iago into working with him again. But the Sultan does not like that Iago is there. He gets pissed. Oh, he actually offers Aladdin to be his royal vizier, which is what Jafar was. Okay, I have a problem here. Like, Aladdin is lying to Jasmine again. Wasn't the whole moral of the first film story not to lie? I mean, he still got away with it, I guess, but it just feels like he didn't learn this lesson. Why did they write it this way? I don't think it's as bad as what he did in the first film, but still, because Iago ends up being, So Iago, controlled by Jafar, is forced to bring Aladdin and the Sultan on a magic carpet ride, to a place where Jafar ambushes them. I was small and Jafar ambushed them. Tornado thing, and they capture the Sultan and leave Aladdin behind. When he returns, he is framed for the murder of the Sultan, and Jasmine is pointing a finger at him, and it's revealed that it's not Jasmine but Jafar. So why did you need to frame him then if you're going to take Jasmine's place? Why not just kick him out? Like, the whole thing is to frame him. But wouldn't it be easier if Jasmine was there, not Jafar, and she sees the tattered hat? We found it, and, yeah. I mean, I guess she would believe that Iago, it was set up by Iago, I guess. Maybe it is, but I don't know. It's just a little weird. Everyone else has been captured, including Genie. Of course, you gotta capture him, so his power's out of the way. So, Abis Mal's been trying to figure out what his last wish is going to be. And this is another thing that I'm confused on. It doesn't make any sense to me. Jafar says that Abis Mal is going to use his final wish to free him from the lamp. Dumbass! If he frees you from the lamp, you will no longer have your magic powers, your genie powers. You'll just be Mr. Vizier dude with the beard. You don't even have your staff anymore. Because the staff, you remember his staff was broken in the first film. So it means that the staff he has is created by magic. So if he's free, he won't have the magic. Now you're saying, well, Genie was free and he still has magic. Yes. Here's the problem though. Jafar has only been a genie for 1 year. Which means that if he was freed, I don't think it would work that way. Genie has been a genie for over 10,000 years and more. So it would make sense that his magic still lingers. Whereas Jafar's would go away. Because it's only been 1 year. You know? I'm just saying. But Abis Mal has a point. Like, how do I know that all this won't disappear once? Because first of all, he's breaking the rules by just popping in the treasures he asked for before, which technically he's granted no wishes from before, but he's just pumping a bunch of treasure that he hasn't wished for. And I don't understand how you could do that if he's not. I don't know. But he's afraid of this, which it probably would. It probably would, but. No. So Iago rescues everybody from the dungeon, and then they go after Jafar, except for Iago. He's like, no, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this. And the lad's like, no, good on you. You know what? You did your part. That's fine. We could do this. Little guilt trip thing. But yeah. So their plan is to destroy the lamp. If you destroy the lamp, you destroy the genie. Which, good thing nobody knew that in the first one. And Jesus. Because you think about it, Jafar would do it. He goes, well, if I can't have the genie, nobody can, and he'll just destroy it. However, then all the magic that he did would be gone. So the wishes that he had would be gone, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So that's their plan. But Jafar turns into big genie guy. Now, I like how they still go by the rules that he can't kill them. At one point, Aladdin is pretty much going to die, but Jafar saves him. I was like, why'd you do that? He goes, there's not yet time for him to die. And I'm like, no. You couldn't let him die. That's the problem. Because they did do this thing where you can't kill him, and he zaps Genie. Well, be surprised what you could survive. So here, Iago flies in to help, and Jafar zaps him, knocking him down. And Jafar kicks the lamp into the lava, and it destroys Jafar, and Iago survives. You'd be surprised what you could survive, and he is hailed as a hero. He gets his redemption. So, yes. Yeah, and everyone lives happily ever after. Aladdin does not take the royal vizier job. Instead, he wants to travel the world, which leads into our TV show where they mainly stay in Agrabah, but sometimes they go other places. But mainly it's there in the Middle East. I don't know. I guess they do go some places. I don't know. And Jasmine's going to go with him. Yeah. I think it's fine. It's fine. I'll give it a very high middle of the road. I always thought that King of Thieves is better. But this one, I don't think it's that bad. It's probably the worst of the three. At least right now in my head it is. I haven't went through this yet. There's a little tidbit. When they released these on DVD, they actually released them together. as a double feature that I bought from Shopko. I remember it clearly. These are custom covers because the one I had, I tried to put it into a double collection with no cover for years. It just sort of sat moving around, and then I got these covers off the internet so that it's official looking. So, as official as you can get. The weird thing is, in Return to Jafar, there was like a little booklet thing in there. This one doesn't have one. I don't know. But, yeah. So, like I said, it's a high middle of the road. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on the Return to Jafar? Leave a comment below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Come back tomorrow when we will look at the next one, Aladdin the King of Thieves. Until then, thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.